Hey, what's going on guys? It's Stickman here and welcome back to the channel. Now before this video starts, I just really wanted to thank you guys for all the support on the random meme video that I made on Giganto, just vibing along to Undefeatable. It truly means a lot for smaller content creators such as myself, and I really hope that all the new subs will feel welcome here. So today I wanted to talk about the modding potential for Sonic Frontiers, and how I think that, well, as any Unleashed fan would tell you, so it's been around 2 weeks since Sonic Frontiers dropped, and I think it's important to talk about its reception, both by general audiences and Sonic fans first. Now based on my observations, it definitely seems to be the talk of the town, with the concurrent players on Steam at one point beating Mania's. We now have high sales numbers in Japan, mostly for the Switch of course, and we even saw large content creators such as Moist Critical, Asmongold, and even Young Yeah talk about it in a positive light, or if not, they at the very least see the massive potential that this gameplay formula has.
I do think Sonic Frontiers is a really great attempt at making something special with Sonic. It's not a full, swing and a hit, like knocking it out of the park by any means, but they don't miss here either. There's a lot of execution that's sloppy, but if they stick with something like this, I think they can make something amazing in the future. So I think there's a lot to look forward to for Sonic fans.
With the generally good reception, I think that Sonic Frontiers got from fans in particular, with acknowledgments surrounding its jankiness, hopefully it'll inspire the team to really, take what feels like an exoskeleton and really flesh it out into a full entity. I'm excited about Sonic for the first time in a while, even if this game isn't necessarily the home run that it could have been. It gives me a glimmer of what the future holds, and that's exciting. So I wish the team the best with future Sonic entries that take advantage of this formula, but elevated where it needs to be.
Bro, they 100% know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. This is amazing.
We've also got the Metacritic user scores, which I think got up to an 8.8 at one point, and critic scores, which usually average out to about a 70, which is a yellow on Metacritic. And honestly, I think that's a pretty fair score in my personal opinion after playing and beating the game for myself. But what's crazier is we did in fact get a green score of an 80 at one point, I believe specifically for the PC version. Though, it's also important to mention that the Series X version sat at a 56 at one point, which is a red score, and yeah, that's pretty bad. But it's interesting to see just how wide the gap in scores really are for this game. Now as for Sonic fans, of course, generally speaking here, most of the content creators that I follow at the very least seem to genuinely enjoy a lot of the game, or feel like it's a huge step in the right direction, but it just needs to be heavily refined for a sequel. I've also seen a lot of harsh, but valid, criticism thrown its way, mostly either aimed at the jank in the controller feel, especially in cyberspace, the level theme reuse, and a bit of an underwhelming ending to the game, which I think that's completely understandable. But with all that being said, if there's one thing that seemingly everyone who's played Sonic Frontiers can agree on, it's that it is the best 3D Sonic game in the last decade, which is either promising or very worrying depending on who you talk to. But one thing that's certainly clear is this game has ambition and potential. And I think that the modding community definitely seems to see this potential because they've gone to work immediately since we already have so many mods for Frontiers. Now I'm going to talk about some mods that I think would be cool to see in Sonic Frontiers, and I'm not going to bring up stuff like physics tweaks, camera changes, UI changes, or just other quality of life improvements, since a lot of those already do exist or will likely be added to the HedgeMod Manager as codes, and the UI, physics, and camera stuff can be very subjective. But I do really hope we get more combat abilities added to the skill tree, and maybe even get the drift back from Sonic Unleashed or Generation someday. I also really hope we can get some way to choose the time of day, or add in a minimap to the game. Oh right, and how could I forget? Seriously, I hope that we can find a way to make the pinball section in Frontiers much less frustrating. Lowering the score required to complete it, that's a good band-aid solution for right now. But I really do hope that we can shake the table like you could in Sonic Adventure, so you don't constantly get gutter balls. Just as a quick FYI, I myself am not actually a modder, although I do have coding experience. I've never created video game mods before, so this perspective is coming purely from someone who's been around the Sonic community for a long time and have installed plenty of fantastic mods for Sonic games over the years. A lot of this video will mostly consist of me spitballing ideas while doing my best to keep expectations grounded in reality based on the mods that I've seen created and that I've used before. But I also do think that some of them might be a little bit ambitious, and as a result, I don't expect them, and I don't think that we'll ever see them for a couple of years, at the very least. I also don't know how difficult some of this would be to actually incorporate because I haven't seen or worked with the game's file types, and I have no clue how long it will take before, or even if, specific HUD elements, physics, or animations can be modified. But with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So one of the coolest aspects of Sonic Frontiers is that the gameplay can be split up into two main halves, just like Sonic Generations, which are the cyberspace levels and the open world. And you can break that further down with the open world into combat, platforming, and puzzle solving, which means that the game has a lot of variety in terms of how you choose to play it. And that's why I think it would be super cool to see mods that swap the islands from Sonic Frontiers with the previous 3D Sonic Outings hub worlds. And we also get the levels from those 3D Sonic games into the cyberspace levels for Frontiers. Like for example, could you imagine having the Soliana Castletown hub world that lets you go into Wave Ocean all within Sonic Frontiers itself? Well, imagine no longer, because now's a perfect time for me to mention that the proof of concept for something like this is already being worked on by a modder in the community that goes by the name of Nux or NuxFan24. He's already done some early terrain import tests from Sonic 06, and you can see here that this just looks frickin' sick, dude. I don't even know what else to say here. I can definitely see something like this becoming the next STH 2006 definitive experience mod for Sonic Generations, but for Sonic Frontiers, which is pretty awesome. I think it would be absolutely incredible to see the Sonic Adventure hub worlds replace the open world, and the levels from Sonic Story replace the cyberspace levels, and the same goes for SA2 or Sonic Unleashed. Having the freedom to sort of replay the games with a new engine with physics that I think work surprisingly well with the adventure formula, given a lot more tweaks to the acceleration, turning, and homing attack speed. And, I think you would probably also have to get rid of the boost, because I don't think a boost would work well in those really tiny open worlds, and maybe sort of slow Sonic down just a little bit. But just imagine if they find a way to let you also find the upgrades in those hub worlds too, like the Crystal Ring or the Lightspeed Shoes. It would literally be our first taste of a Sonic Adventure remaster, and that gets me super stoked. And if importing those hub worlds can be a little difficult, I think early on what would be really awesome instead is maybe retexturing the islands if you could. Like just imagine retexturing Kronos and it looks like the open world from Sonic Jam. Imagine running around with Saturn Sonic. That would be so good. Another major mod that I would like to see in Sonic Frontiers is one that lets you keep your speed tweaks and overworld combat with you when you go into cyberspace. This is where I really think Sonic Frontiers can stand out when compared to Sonic Generations. By adding in stuff like the overworld combat into cyberspace, we'll get even closer to replicating entire 3D Sonic games in Sonic Frontiers. Since I already mentioned how cool I think it would be to see Sonic Unleashed hub worlds and the daytime levels in Sonic Frontiers, could you imagine how freaking sick it would be to have the nighttime levels, but instead you go through them with modern Sonic now? Now, there will probably need to be a lot of alterations done to the levels to even make this semi-possible, like replacing the Dark Gaia creatures with the open world enemies, replacing the tight walking and pole climbing with, intense platforming segments, and replacing the boss fights with Titans or the Guardians. But the simple fact that this might even be possible in the first place would be an absolute miracle. And this might literally be one of the only ways we'll get to see Sonic Unleashed ported to PC, which is really sad to think about. Now, another great mod to have just in case Sonic Team and Sega never patch this in for some reason would be a photo mode. Not having photo mode in Sonic Frontiers was a huge missed opportunity, and a lot of people in the community can agree with that. Post video editing Stickman here, just wanted to give you guys a heads up real quick that I actually recorded this video about 5 days ago, and this morning it was announced that Sonic Frontiers will actually be getting a photo mode alongside multiple playable characters, which is unreal. So ignore what I have to say about the playable characters later on, but yeah, we are getting a photo mode. Now, some other mods that I'd like to see for Frontiers includes customizable outfits from every Sonic game being made available in the Outfits tab in the extras, similar to the customizable Sonic mod that we got for Sonic Generations by Lady Luna Nova. Now, although Sega have confirmed that we'll be seeing more free content expansions for Sonic Frontiers, I'm not entirely sure that they will all be similar to Sonic Soap Shoes, and might also include further collaborations like the Monster Hunter collab. So just in case we don't see all of the iconic clothing items that Sonic has received over the years, hopefully modders will be kind enough to get them all in eventually, like having the Sonic Riders outfit, the Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 outfit, the Sonic 06 shoes, and more. If they go a step further and continue to include the entire skins along with their animations like we see right now with 06 Sonic and even playable Shadow already in Sonic Frontiers, then we'll have an open world Sonic game with almost every single one of our favorite characters in the franchise. And that's pretty cool to think about. Now, if they really want to go crazy with mods, if we see gameplay styles incorporated with the characters, like adding in Tails' flight but with a gauge so he doesn't just break out of bounds, that would be beyond incredible. Finally, I hope we get even more hard mode mods like the Hedgehog May Cry one that I tried on stream, because this genuinely makes the game so much more engaging for me personally. Watch out, he's coming. No, I failed to parry. Come on, come on, come on. I'm about to be a hedgehog that's gonna cry if I don't beat this guy. Sega didn't port Sonic Unleashed to PC, so we did it ourselves. Exactly. That's just how it goes. The Sonic community is capable of the most incredible feats. So yeah, guys, what do you think of Sonic Unleashed Remastered? It's pretty fun, right? I really think they stepped up the Werehog's combat. Ready? Parry, parry. Now. 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 No! Man, I am getting smacked around. Mom said we had Sonic Unleashed at home. Mom, can we buy Sonic Unleashed? No, honey, we have Sonic Unleashed at home. Sonic Unleashed at home. What's this? Go, go, go. Phantom Rush. No, no, no. X, X, X. Go. Yes. I've never seen the Werehog this nimble in my life. This feels wrong, but so right. Oh no, we can't side loop rings. We can't side loop rings. Oh no. Wait, we can. Like 10. And I love how much faster the combat moves are pulled off as well. Easy. Easy, let's go. Even something as simple as giving Giganto a Gangnam Style animation made that thing impossible to climb. So if we gave Titans some more unpredictable movement or attack patterns like that, I think it would really keep me on my toes more than ever during combat, and it would be so much fun. Now, this next mod's a little bit more basic, but I still think personally that it's super important to have in Sonic Frontiers. Now, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when roaming around the different islands, I feel like the islands are super big, but because of the power boost, sometimes it does make them feel a little bit smaller, like especially Kronos Island. I feel like I make it from one half of the island to the other end of the island super quickly. And when I really think to myself about why that is, I think a lot of it comes down to just not being able to climb up the walls that you see on the side of those mountains. What I hope modders can do is either make it so Sonic doesn't always constantly fall down when he's trying to run up mountains, or add in those wall running sections from, you know, some of the areas within Kronos to like most of the walls, because I feel like it would be so much more fun chaining combos and tricks and stuff like that, hopping off rails, running off walls, jumping off walls, like doing all sorts of different acrobatic stuff like that as Sonic the Hedgehog, and giving players even more freedom to run around. And if they wanted to go a step further, it would be really cool to see some of the invisible walls that are at the top of those mountainous ranges just gone completely. I think it would make it so much more fun to just roam around literally anywhere you want in Sonic Frontiers without boundaries. But we're at the end of the video, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what mods you would like to see for Sonic Frontiers. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Peace out.